Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Laratips. So in this video, we'll be talking about blade templates. In our previous video tutorial, we learned about sessions. So if you haven't watched that tutorial, then you can go ahead and watch that. Although it is not related to this one, but you can have a good knowledge about sessions after looking into that tutorial. So what is blade templates? Let's look into it. What does the Laravel documentation say about it? So Blade is a simple yet powerful templating engine provided with Laravel. This is provided by Laravel itself, not any third-party templating engine. Okay. So what it does is it provides a bunch of helpful directives, let's say if conditions, for each loop, and so many other useful helper directives to us. By using that, we can write our PHP code in our HTML or Blade file in a very clean way. So in a raw PHP, what we would have to do is we would have to open the PHP opening tag and write PHP, and again write echo or like for each loop, and again the curly braces opening and writing all the loops, and again curly bracket closing on at the end of the file. So it used to look a little bit dirty, but this Blade has a very clean way of doing this. Okay. So by the way, the Blade actually parses the data that we write in the Blade file into the plain PHP code. So let's see how the past PHP files look like, and where does the Laravel saves the past PHP code in our project. So this is where we left off in our session tutorial. So let me open the side panel, and if we go to the storage, framework, and views, so currently in this directory we don't have anything. Okay, now let's go. I have already run the server, and when I go ahead and reload, okay, the page is reloaded, and when I see here, you can see here there are two files over here. And if we go ahead and look in our home controller and inside the welcome, so this content is over there. Okay. So and if we go ahead and look ahead in the first file, so you can see the same content. So it is rendering this thing here like this, and also this thing is converted into this echo PHP echo e. Okay. And the second thing is this, the include, which we have included the subview, this subview. So it is also being converted into this. Let's see what's inside here. So all these curly braces are converted into this echo PHP echo, and which is inside e function, which will encode the value that is being echoed. Okay. After that, let's use some of the useful Blade syntax, use our directives. So as you can see here, we have four pages, but we don't need this in our this tutorial. So we have home page, about us page, and contact us page, and they are showing they are being shown from this welcome Blade, contact us Blade, and about us Blade. And in all these three, so many codes are being duplicated. As you can see, all these parts, almost all of them are being duplicated over here. So we can refactor it and store them in a single file. Okay, let's start. Okay, let us create one master file, Blade file. Let us add into a layouts folder. So what I have done is I have created a layouts folder, and inside that there is a master.blade.php. So let us copy the content in our home, welcome Blade, let us copy all of them, and let us paste it here. So this is our master file. So the thing that is changing in our three pages are this title and this content. These two parts are being changed, other all are same. So for that, so what we can do is, there is a directive called yield @ yield, and let's say content. So I'll show you how to add values from other templates into this value. So for now, let us add a yield content over here. Okay, we are making it dynamic, and let us make yield title. So what we have done is we have created a master blade layout, and we have made these two things dynamic. Okay, these two things are dynamic, so we are changing them into yield. Okay, now how to use this in our other blade files, we'll see. So let's go to the home and let us remove this all. Now what we can do is we can extend this master from here. We can do extend, and we can do, so you can see here it will start from the views folder. So after that, what we have seen, layouts and masters. Layouts.master, the dot syntax here, as you can see, the dot is separating the folder and the file, and we cannot name a folder name. Let's say this is a layout folder, so we cannot name a folder name as layout like hello. This if we do this, then it will not work. So we cannot name a directory with a dot in it. So since Laravel uses dot to separate the folder and the file, so because of that. Okay, so what it does is, now it extends the master. Now it extends everything that is over here. Now let's see how the home page looks like. Okay, in this case, now we can see here there is nothing, but what we can see is all this part is being extended, and we can see this navbar section and this container. So if I show you the source, you can see here, so we can see the navbar, and we can see this container and the div. Yeah, we can see this and this. Let us remove this, since this is not a session tutorial, so I'll remove this session as well. So we can see here now how to add things in this content and this. Okay, now if we go to the homepage blade file, welcome.blade.php, now we can add is, we can name a section. So there is a section directive, and whatever we have named here inside the yield, we can write it over here. Let's say content, and we have to close it like int section. So this extent there doesn't have a closing int tag, so the section has an int tag. So whenever we open a section, we have to end it. Okay, now whatever we write inside here, it will be shown here. So let's say we can write HTML over here, home page. Now this should be visible inside. So let's see here, as you can see, now this is visible over here. Now whenever I show the source, then you can also see this part is being replaced by the home page. Okay, so what we have done is, now we have refactored and made our code dry. Dry means do not repeat yourself. So we haven't repeated anything now. Okay, so similarly what we can do is, also we can see here this part. So here currently in here title we don't have anything, so we can also do the same thing for here. Okay, we can do it @ section title @ in section and home. Let's see. Also we can do it, since it is only a title, so we can do it like this. And now you can see we have a home. Also what we can do is like so, and if we do it like this, since it is only a text, so we don't need a closing in section, and this home will be shown as before. When we go here, now you can see here, we can see the home page, and when I open the source by right clicking and this, and you can see we can see the home over here. So let's copy this and go to the contact us page, and let us replace it with, let's say, contact us page, and let us go and paste it over here, and us about us page, and if I go to the about us page and contact us page, we can see the data that we have inputted inside this content and this title section. So this is how we make a template layout and extend it for different views. So now let's say if you want another layout for another page, then what you can do is you can create another layout here and create a page. And if you, let's say you want to make product detail page, and there you want some filtering and other, you want to show different page, different things in that page, then you can create a page and extend that layout instead of. So these three are extending, for instance these three are extending master layout. Now the new page that you will be creating should extend the new layout, and the it will be totally different design. It will have totally different design. Okay, we have seen how to refactor and make our code dry. Now we'll see how to pass data to the view from controller. Now, as you can see, we have a home controller, and okay, let me remove this session part since it is from the old. Sorry, let us not remove this because this will make our nav bars active. Okay, now what we can do is we can pass some data to our views. Let's pass title. So as you can see here in the master blade, we have this title, and in our welcome.blade.php we are hard coding it. So we will be passing this value from the controller. So data is equals to, we can add it in an array. If we do it like this, and what we can do is like page. Now this is our data. Now to pass this data in the view, what we can do is we can simply add a comma here and the data over here, pass the data. Now when we pass it like this, then this title, the key, will be available to this view as a variable. Okay, so when we go to view, and we can pass the variable over here, and this title is coming from here, home page, and when I refresh the page, it should show home page over here. So you can see here it is showing the home page. Now if I just to make you more clear, let me change it home page 2 and refresh the page. Now you can see it is coming home page 2. So this is how we pass data to the view from the controller. So you can also pass multiple data, let's say content, and let's say home page content, and if we go to the view, welcome view, and now we can, since this is the inside the PHP scope, so we can directly go the variable like this, but inside here we have to make double cut, we have to put a variable inside the double curly bracket. Okay, so here we can do content and refresh. So as you can see, home page content, this data is coming from here. Now if we can also pass HTML to the view, let's say div over here and div over here. Now what happens if we refresh? By default Laravel will protect us from this, because whenever let's say we are creating a blog and user can comment, so they can pass malicious script code, so we do not want it to be executed whenever someone visits our page. So for that, Laravel protects us by default. So all these things will be printed as it is. So if I go ahead and refresh, so you can see here, it is not converted into any HTML code, it is just printed as it is. So if we go ahead and look in the source, so as you can see, it is converted it into the HTML Unicodes. Okay, so we can also print the HTML inside our this blade. So how to do that? We can do it like this. This is the syntax. We'll one opening curly bracket, double exclamation, then value, and double exclamation, and again closing bracket. So this is how we can display the HTML. Now if I go ahead and refresh the page, it will not show that div here in the UI, but if we go ahead and uh, in the looker and view source. So you can see here it is being the all those less than and greater than LT are not shown. It is showing the pure HTML. But be very careful while showing these showing the HTML content like this, because any user can send any malicious data from the form or by the comment section of our application. So after that, what we can do is we can use if else condition also over here. Okay, let's say but before that, I would like to show you that we can also add any PHP code over in this section as well. So here we can, what we can do is, there is a PHP directive @PHP and @PHP. We have to close it. Now if we define, okay, let's say name as Laratips. Okay, now what happens is this variable will be available anywhere below it. So we can echo it as like this $name. Now whenever we do this, the Laratips will be echoed. As you can see here, Laratips is being echoed. So we can write any PHP code here. So if like if else conditions like this, so you can add any code in here. Okay, so this can be done. Basically we did not do this in the blade files, because it mixing of logic and the template logic in the template is a bad idea. So whatever we need data in the blade views, will be passing it from the controller. That is the best practice. So let us remove this. Okay, yeah, we can also use if and else in our blade directive. Okay, so how can we do it? There is @if. So it is very similar to our PHP language. They have made it very easy for us to use. We can pass, let's say for example, true. Something is true, then we can do it, and there is else, and there is indif. Okay, if, else, and indif. So if something is true, so always this block will be executed. Since it is true, so always this block will be executed. So what we can do is here, this is true. Okay, else this is false. So this will be visible and this will not be visible. So you can see here, this is true, it is visible, and this part is not visible. So we can also, we have this if else statement. Similarly, we also have the switch statement, and also we have for each statement, as you can easily see it from the documentation. So control structures, and you can see here else. Also we have else if, so we can do it like this, and you can use also unless, that is negative of if. There is also is set empty, and there is authentication. We'll look into it in our future videos in the authentication. And also there is the switch statement. Also there are loops. Most of the time we'll be using for each loop. So let's look at this. So let us pass an array from our controller. Okay, let's say teams. Okay, now team A, let's say team B, team C, and team D. There are 4 teams. We are passing the array to the view. So these teams will be available as a variable inside this blade file. Let me remove this. So we can use for each PHP for each as like this, for each, and we have to end it. So don't forget to end, otherwise you will see some output that you will not be expecting. Okay, so we have a variable teams, okay, in the view TAMS, teams as an array, teams as team. So we can echo it like this. So let us echo now. So for each teams as team. So in this team we will be getting each item. Okay, so let me echo that, and we can see here, we can see team A, team B, team C, and team D, which is coming from an array. So we can use for each like this. Also, what if there is not any data? One thing what we can do is like if, let's say, sorry, not like this, if count teams is greater than 0, and else in diff we have, so we can show no teams. Okay, currently there are teams. What we can do is we can just pass an empty array, so there are no teams, and if we refresh the page, then we can see here no teams. Okay, also we can do this in another way as well. There is another directive like for else. Let me remove this, and for else. Okay, and there will be int for else and empty. All of these come together. Okay, for else, empty, and int for else come together. So whenever there is data in the teams, it will show the team. So let me show you that there is data team A to team D, and now it will display the teams over here. So you can see here. Now if there is no data, then it will show no teams. So that can be simplified into this section. That long code can be simplified into this short code. Okay, so we have also looked into the for each and for else, and also now let us use the for loop for now. Okay, we already have the data. So int for EACS, int for each. Now when we use this for each in our blade files, there is a special loop variable inside this. We can access a special loop variable. As you can see here, I'll show it over here as well. Inside the loop, we can see here the loop variable. This loop variable will be automatically available inside the array. Now there are so many helper properties in that loop variable. Okay, so let's see. At the rate if dollar first, there is first helper method at the rate. I'll show the output as well, just a second. So this block will only be executed for the first item iteration. So only when for this team A, and this loop will be only executed when the team D is reached. Okay, when the last item of the array is reached. So these are the helper methods. So when I refresh the page, now you can see it is called for the first time whenever the loop is first, and whenever it is last, so it is only called, and other are called in between. So there are also other helper methods like even or iteration. Okay, we can also get the current index of the loop like so. Let's say, okay, let us show the current index as well. Index as dollar, as the index of the array always starts from 0, as we all know that. So we can see from 0 to 3 because there are 4 items. Yeah, as you can see, index 0, 1, 2, 3. Let us remove this first and second, sorry, first and last, and it will be more clear. So you can see index 0 is A, index 1 is B, similarly index 2 and 3. Okay, we have seen all this. Now let us see how to add a comment in our blade. Okay, now currently this index is being visible. Now we don't want to show this index in our view. What we can do is we can do a comment. Okay, so how to add a comment? 2 curly bracket open and dash dash. Okay, my ID is auto completing, so let me show you like that. Okay, so we can add a comment like this: 2 curly bracket opening curly bracket dash dash space, and the thing that you want to comment, and then dash dash and 2 curly closing brackets. Now this index will not be visible. So this is a single line comment, so we can do it like this also. That team will also be not visible. But what we can do is we can also comment multiple lines. What we can do is like this. So what we can do is open curly bracket, 2 curly bracket dash dash in the beginning and this at the last of the another line. So all these two will be hidden now. This is the multi-line comment. Before we shown the single line comment, and this is the multi-line comment. Now if we undo and refresh the page, now the data will be visible. So we have seen yield, making a template, passing data to the view, showing the HTML and normal text, also if else and for if else, for else, for each, some loop variables, and the commenting. Now let us look at how to include the sub views. I think we have we have already done that in our previous lesson, so I'll just show you. So when we go to the home, sorry, in the master, you can see here we have included a file over here, parcels.navbar, and you will see this navbar.blade file here under the views, parcels, and navbar.blade.php. And if we see here, there is a bunch of HTML. So it is showing home, about us, and contact us. And home, about us, and contact, these data are being shown here. So this file can be included here like so. Use the include directive, and starting from the views, after the views, parcels and .navbar. You can include like this, and this data will be available here. Now if I comment it, then we can comment it like this. If we refresh the page, the navbar is hidden, and if we uncomment it, the navbar will be included here and it will be visible. This is how to include a sub view in a blade file. So we can include it multiple like this. So if we include it like this, there will be 4 navbars. You can see here there are 4 navbars now. So we can separate our codes into different components like this. Also, there is another useful blade directive named as stack. Okay, let us add here. Let us give name as style. It is very useful to add some styling and some JavaScript to the specific page. Okay, so currently what is happening is all this data is being included in all of our views that is extending this master layout, but we can only add some. We might also need only some specific behavior in only the specific page. So this can be handled by using the stack blade directive. So since we have added the stack over here, now let us go to the home page and how to add some data over here. Okay, so what we can do is we can add it over here or at the bottom of the page, wherever you like. We can add it over here. So normal CSS styles are added on the top of the page. We'll also be adding it here. So we have to push to the stack. So this is a stack, so we have to push to the stack, and that data will be available here. Okay, so push, this is the push directive, and there is style, the name is style, so we'll be naming the style, and we have to close it. So whatever we write here, anything that will be available inside here. Okay, so let's say read as a class. Okay, read. Now if we see, this is currently being included in the welcome.blade.php, which is the home page. Now if we go on the home page and refresh it and see the source, you can see here the read, this code is over here. And if we go in about us page and right click and inspect the source, the data is not over here, since in the on the about us page there is no stack. We haven't pushed anything to the stack. So you might be thinking, what is the difference between this section and this push? They both look the same. We are whatever we put inside this thing is being shown here, and whatever we put inside this is being shown here. So these two look similar? No, they are not similar. Okay, so we can push multiple things to the stack. Okay, so and in the yield, in this yield part, we cannot add any multiple parts. So if we write anything, so let's say if we write content, let me demonstrate that. Content and content. Okay, I have written it. There are two sections, okay, so with the same name. Now if I go to the home page, so this top part will be shown and anything other than that will be ignored by the Laravel. And let me remove that, and now let me push another style to the stack. Okay, so let's say green, and when I refresh the page and see the source, you can see here both of those data are being included in the page. So this is the main difference between the stack and the section. We can push multiple things to the stack, but in the content we cannot define multiple things. The first will be shown and all of the rest will be ignored. So that's it for this video, guys. In our other video tutorials we'll be talking about the Laravel components, since it is very popular nowadays. So, and it also looks very clean to use Laravel components rather than all these extents and sections and this. So they look more like human friendly, I think so. So we'll be looking into those in our next lesson. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.